please take it away.
Lovely. Thanks, Marie, and lovely to meet you all, and thank you for spending a part of your afternoon with us today, and hopefully you can all see my screen. So as Marie kindly touched on, really exciting addition to the CareLineLive platform in terms of the management portal and the app that we'll look at in a little while. So I'm just going to run you through basically how the PRN application now works within the product itself. So when adding medication, as some of you will know being customers and others that don't know that are not customers, it's a really simple process in CareLineLive. So when I've gone into my client record here as Terry, we go into the medical area as I'm in, and we press that plus button, and we've got what we call a scheduled medication. So this is kind of how we used to do it before we added the PRN. So this is where we start to add the medication that we're going to be doing all the time, so in a schedule for that client. But what you may have noticed now is this lovely new PRN button. So when I click on that, we go through the same process. We start typing the medication in here, and we do have an integration with the DMND dictionary. Of course, you can override those medications as well. So I'm going to put in here 500 milligrams soluble tablets. And why is the reason it being administered? So we're going to put for headaches, any symptoms that we should look out for as well. I'm going to leave that blank for today. So we can put a start date and a finish date on these. So of course we can put a start date from here. If we know this is ongoing medication, we can just leave the finish date. If this is PRN medication that has a finish date, you obviously just put a finish date in this area here. We choose the type of medication it is in here, like so. So I'm going to put a tablet, and we put a route, so how the support worker, the carer, is going to deliver that to that individual. So we know that that is going to be done orally, like that, and the dosage summary of how many we are delivering to that client. So I'm going to put 2 in here. So this is where the PRN gets really interesting, because now we're starting to decide how often and what the gaps are between when this can and cannot be given to the client. So we've got what is the minimum gap between doses. So I can put, you've got a number of presets in here, but I'm going to just type over that as 2. So at least 2 hours between doses in here. What is the maximum dose allowance and over what period? So I can put in here 6 doses over 1 day, week, month, or year. So again, you've got lots and lots of flexibility at this. So I'm going to put days in here. We can add additional information, so any further side effects that will be delivered from this medication, so the carers are aware of that. Any comments and any further administration methods, alongside any body map annotations, particularly useful for creams, emollient gels, and information like that as well. And then simply what you'll do in here, you'll save that, and that then becomes the PRN medication for that client. So when we log into the app in a moment, and I'll show you how that looks, this is how it will appear in the app. So the app will have a scheduled view. So basically all the tasks that are scheduled for that client, whether that's domestic tasks or medication type tasks, and then there'll be a PRN button next to that. But from the management portal's perspective, this is where it all begins, in the medication area here. So if you just bear with me, I'm just going to log into my app here. Like so. I'm going to share my screen. And in a moment, you should be able to see my mobile. Okay. So now, on the mobile app, when your carers log into their mobile app like so, as you'll know if you're customers, and if you're not customers, this is how it looks for a carer when they log in. They can see the booking they've got coming up. They have a rotated view in here as well. So there's a number of different ways of seeing their rota. This is what we call the schedule, like so. And they also have a daily view in here, like so. And for iPhone users at the moment, they also have a weekly view. This is coming in Android in another update, like that. So when they click into Terry here, we can see information on the client. We can see where she lives. On this front panel here, you can have a lot more information as required. You can have a care package summary and further information as required in here. I've got a key safe code and where the DNAR is located. So when the carer arrives at the property, they press check-in. We use QR codes at CareLineLive. You don't have to use QR codes, but I prefer it from a check-in standpoint. So it scanned the QR code in Terry's home. I press check-in, and now this booking has gone purple. So this is an active booking in our CareLineLive system. So alongside the PRN and the body maps that we're going to have a look at in here, I'm also going to show you that you can, of course, upload documentation into the mobile app as well. So care plans, medication documents, any other documentation the carers should be aware of for that client in here. And they can read, and these are a read-only document in their current format, like so. They can also review any notes left by other carers in here. So these could be handover notes or just general notes left by other carers. And there is no time limit on how far these go back, which is a really handy feature, especially if you're bringing on new carers as well. And then we come to the tasks. So as I mentioned before I showed you the app, we now have them in two separate columns. We have scheduled and as required. So to complete the scheduled tasks, again, if you're customers, you'll understand this. If you're not, this is nice and simple. We simply click on what we've done when we're with the client. We choose a completion status, which populates the MAR chart back in the management portal, like so. So your carers will be required to pick from one of the statuses in here, like so. We can leave comments. We can take photos. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to top and tail the PRN demo with the body maps demo. So to now add an annotation on the body map, we click report a concern. So we don't have to annotate specifically on a body map for a general concern, but I'm going to show you how it also works. So we're going to report a concern here for Terry, and the severity I'm going to say is low. You've got a number of options: no harm, moderate, severe. I'm going to write a comment here that I saw a bruise on her shoulder. Let's go her right shoulder here. And then I can start to annotate on the body map in here. So if I put shoulder in here, there we are. So right shoulder, like so. It will add that in the system for me here. I can write a further description. So yellow bruising on shoulder, like so. Of course, a lot more information can be put in as required in here. There's no word count as in the description. And then we can select the region as well, so it's up front, like so. And then simply I add the annotation. So when I save that now, that will annotate onto the body map in the management portal for the client, and it will also raise a concern to the user of the management portal, so you're aware that the concern has come from the carer within the mobile app itself, like so. So I've got some medications to do here that are scheduled for Terry, but I'm going to take you into what the PRN looks like now. So simply we press the as required, and we can see there's paracetamol 500 milligrams at least 4 hours apart, no more than 4 doses every day, and it was last completed a week ago. So it's a really handy tool from a carer's perspective to know as and when it was last done. So I'm going to add the PRN medication now, like so. Tells me 2 weeks ago who did it as well. Can you see that? By Barry Worley, 12/21, Tuesday the 12th of May. And it also shows me 3 weeks ago. So it's really, really handy. We can really see who's been administering this and how far back. But I'm going to add the completion today. Like so, we're going to add a status again. So at every point we're documenting. So we're going to put completed in here. I'm going to confirm that I gave her 2. I can write additional comments. We can take photographs. I can report concerns from the PRN perspective as well. And then I can save it. And then what a lovely feature is here is this big warning triangle now. So for the next carer that goes in to see Terry, whether that's myself, whether that's somebody else, there's a big warning trial in the as required here that we must wait 3 hours and 59 minutes for the next dose. So really visual in here. So we're going to go back to the scheduled visits, scheduled tasks. So I'm going to administer the enalapril as well, and I'm going to confirm the dosage, like so. And I'm going to do further paracetamol in here as well. So again, just to confirm, scheduled are the scheduled tasks that we always do for Terry in here. and as required is your PRN medication. And then just to go over again, to add any body map annotations, you click into the task, you report a concern, and then we can annotate on the body map itself. So once I finish with the client, I say goodbye to Terry, I press checkout, I scan my QR code, I can leave a handover note for the next carer. Then when it says, how do you think the visit went? I can write my visit note. So I'm going to make this short and sweet for today, but visit went well. We're going to press checkout, and that's the bookings over. So let me take you back into the management portal here. And let me show you the body map in Terry, like so. Where are we here? So there we go. What we've just done together in that demonstration on the app, it appears in the body map instantly. So we can see here, this was based on carer concern 1752, and there was yellow bruising on the shoulder in the front region, and that was reported 2 minutes ago in here as well. And we can also view the audit of that information as well. So it was done from the app, it was done by Barry Worley, and it was created on the 13th, on the 21st, and it was reported at 14 minutes past 1. And that's how it looks, everybody. And that is our lovely new updates within CareLineLive.
Thank you so much, Barry. I've not seen that before. That's really good to see. We have got some questions, so I don't know if you want to just take a look at the chat thread, and we'll take them from the top. So Darren is asking, will PRN medication be mandatory, just the same as normal medication, preventing a logout for carers?
No.
Easily answered. So not mandatory. Charlotte says, if your client doesn't need to have any PRN administered, will this let you log out? So the answer to that is yes.
Yep.
Can you add a body map in the notes, in the add notes section, by raising a concern as well?
Great question. Let me just have a look. Let me just check in to another visit here. So the notes section here, report a concern.
You're not sharing that, by the way, Barry, just in case.
No, but I was just checking, but yes, you can.
Yeah.
You can. So note, concern, body map. Yes, you can.
Great. Caitlin says, will the body map annotation come up on alerts?
Correct. Yes, it will come up as a concern in here. So can we see that one here today, Thursday the 21st? Up there it sits. So you'll get a notification that that concern has come through. Absolutely.
The Thomas's Family Care, I can't handle that question today. Could you just raise that with support, please, and ask them that question? That's all right. Training certificates. I mean, I'm assuming you're wanting that for having attended this webinar, and I'm sure we can put something in writing for you. But if you can ask support for that, that'd be great. Katie, hello, Katie. I know Katie. How does the PRN medication then display on the MAR charts?
Yep. So when we go into Terry here, and we go into tasks, and we download the MAR chart here. So let's go all the completions in here. So we've got scheduled, where are we? I've got no PRN medication found for some reason, but it basically, Katie, it would appear in here. That's where it would be. So it does report it.
I wonder if we found a little bug there.
So it does, but yeah, it would essentially appear there. But Marie said we probably found a bug that needs reporting because we've just done a PRN medication. It appears in it.
This is one of the reasons we're still in a final sort of testing phase of this, isn't it? So I'm trying 100%. To iron out these bugs. Okay. Caitlin, will there be a notification to say the body map needs to be reviewed in 7 days to identify any changes?
No.
So managers presumably could do that.
Yeah, so I mean, in CareLine, so this is where probably MOA would work really well, because we could set an actionable task in MOA where you could actually put, that the body map needs to be reviewed, and then you could assign that action to somebody. In CareLineLive, it would essentially mean that you would need to remember that information. So we either put it as an announcement to one of us in the system, which could be Barry, review the body map after 10 days, but the system is not going to notify you to do that.
Thank you. Does anyone else have any questions? Great questions, by the way. And it's always useful for us when we're kind of putting communications together, or for Barry when he's doing presentations of this. Now, okay, these are the questions people are asking, so we can cover that in the presentation going forwards.
I think have we still got Dave on the call, Marie?
Probably. Dave, do you want to make yourself known?
I'm still here, yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, I think we've covered that, Dave. I think, unless you've got any further information you can bring to the table.
No, I think that was quite a nice, concise summary of everything.
Okay, perfect.
Great. I guess the question that no one's asked is, when is this going to be live? Dave, you probably have more of an idea than that, do you? I think we're waiting for CSO sign off, aren't we?
Not off the top of my head, I'm afraid. Serge actually has asked that question. But yes, I'm afraid I haven't actually got any information on that from my standing.
My understanding is that we're awaiting external CSO sign off, so it will be soon. I would suggest, but it is kind of out of our hands. But you can see it's looking good, bar one bug that we found, and you will be, Barry. How will people normally be alerted to this being live in their environment?
So 2 ways of doing it. Obviously, we'll send an email out. But actually, if you're a CareLineLive user, I'd implore you to always keep a lookout on what's new here, because this is the way that we communicate much quicker than via email. But also, if you're using the system every day, you can actually see what we're going to release. So as soon as it's ready, it will be in there. And then what will happen with that? There should be a supporting article that goes alongside that information. So PRN embodied maps, basically how you use it. And of course, if you have any questions, please also, rely on our great support team who will be able to help you with any issues or how to use it moving forward. But yeah, so it'll be a communication via email, but also watch out for this what's new section in your dashboard as well.
Thank you. I've just scrolled through the chat thread and found some more questions. Kat, would like to see the app screen again, Barry.
Yeah.
I think it's to see that lovely new calendar view in iPhone. So feast your eyes. It's coming up. To answer the question for those that are asking, can we have a recording? Yes, you will be sent a recording. It probably won't be today, but it will be in the next day or two.
So let me come off here. So go back into my rotor. So there's that weekly view in iPhone, which again will be released in Android very soon, like so. And then we have the scheduled view, which is our older view in here. Then we have the daily view, like so. Did you want to see, Kat, the whole process again of logging in and logging out?
I think it was just that view. She's a pretty experienced user of CareLineLive, Barry, so I imagine that, but please say so in the thread if need be. Let's just see what else we've got. Famila asks, will the annotation can be added by the office?
Yes.
So yes, you can in the portal, can't you?
Yeah, so that's been around. That's been around quite a long time in terms of the. Let me share my screen again from the management portal perspective. So let me just find where Terry's gone, which is, so just to do that from an office perspective, from an annotation, you click body map here, we click add annotation, we choose whether it's medication, medical condition. I'm going to put general note here. And again, we go through a similar process as you do in the app. We pick a region. So this time we'll pick the scalp. We'll put a description. We'll just put red and sore. It's very basic, my apologies. And we'll put the front there and we'll add that annotation and we'll just create that annotation as well. So it will pick up from what's being done in the app, but also, of course, from a management perspective, you've got full control over that body map annotation in here as well.
Great. Another question here from Karen on the process of whether it's going to go live on Android and iPhone at the same time.
Good question. I would suggest it would do. Again, it's not my probably day's best for that, but I would suggest that we tend to do a dual release across iPhone and Android, just purely because the workforce split in the marketplace, that we have Android users and iPhone users. So we always do it at the same time. We tend to always do it at the same time. Of course, as Marie and you've all seen today, that if there's any bugs, we try and fix them as and when we can. But that is why the release has taken slightly longer than probably anticipated as well. But yes, in answer to your question, we anticipate it to be released on both iPhone or App Store and the Play Store at the same time for Android users.
Thank you. Darren is saying, I've noticed the dosage frequency is already live currently in our environment. On scheduled medication, does it flag the same as PRN for paracetamol, etc., regarding the timing?
It's a good question. Could we refer back on that one? I'm not too sure.
Sure. So I guess, Darren, that might be just one to, if you can just raise that as a question directly with the support team. And or Dave, perhaps if you could find out the answer to that, and when I send out the email notes about it, I can give a response to that in the covering email. Famila, PRN, 4-hour gap is strictly maintained. Will that mean staff will not be able to access PRN only or other meds too?
They'll be able to access the scheduled, but PRN will have the warning triangle saying that we can't access that within, you've got 4 hours left or 2 hours left, whatever it might be.
But they'd be able to access it for other meds, not say
correct, yeah.
The warning triangle for paracetamol.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, correct. It's just so all your scheduled will be accessible. If you've got other further PRN medications, they'll be accessible, just not the one that's obviously within that time frame of not being able to be readministered.
Okay, and here's Kat again. Are we going to have to add all PRN as new tasks, or will we be able to edit current tasks?
Great question, Kat. Probably be a question for when we release it. I'm not too sure, to be completely honest. So it could be referred to our support team if possible.
I knew we'd get to something that we couldn't answer. All right. Well, look, thank you so much, everybody, and to the CareLineLive team that has been available to help with this. Let me just share my screen because I just want to give you a couple more bits and pieces. So we've got another webinar on another new feature. This will be forms on the Carer app. That's on Thursday, the 4th of June. When we email you about this, we will give you a link to that. Natalie may be able to quickly pop that into the thread here as well. And then for customers, our next masterclass is on the 23rd of June. So that's going to be about learning more about the role permissions and how they affect the setup. So for those of you that aren't customers, we tend to do a monthly webinar, a little bit like this, but the support team are the people that are presenting. And we go through a specific detail of CareLineLive's functionality, go through that in great detail in terms of how you use it. And then those are always available as recordings as well. CareLineLive is a really extensive piece of software, and you do your initial onboarding and you get to know the basics, and then like, okay, there's a lot more I can learn here. So we tend to have those masterclasses to help fully embrace it once you are on board and working at a basic level. So Natalie has put that forms webinar link in the chat, so please just click on that and book yourself in now so that you get it into your diary. Okay, so if you want any contacts, so we are in the process of moving our email addresses across to Avaran email addresses, but all of our existing email addresses will just forward to our Avaran ones, so you don't need to worry about learning a new email address. You can use the existing ones. Lovely. Thank you so much. I'm going to end the event now, and we will get this email out to you as soon as we can. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye.